Namaste and welcome to Sedona, Arizona. I figured for today's flow, I would bring you guys along with me to one of my favorite places in Arizona called Oak Creak. Now, the creek that will be flowing behind me throughout this entire video is doing just that, flowing. And so I wanted to kind of capture that in the yoga postures that we will be doing. So instead of holding poses to find strength, we're going to be flowing through postures kind of quickly, not too fast, to just kind of find a balance between flexibility and strength. Now, water doesn't normally flow in a straight line, and for that reason, we will be focusing on a lot of curved and twisting movements, and really just trying to embody the water's movement in our movements in our practice today. Inhale deeply and exhale completely, beginning our practice standing at the top of your mat. I'm just facing you so it's easier to see what I'm doing. Inhale both arms up and overhead, grab a hold of the left wrist and extend over to the right. Inhale and exhale. And on your next inhale, come back to center, switch sides for one complete breath. Inhale and exhale. And inhale back to center and switch sides. Exhale, inhale center, exhale side. Keep moving with your own breath, stretching into the sides, noticing where there's stiffness in the body. And on your next exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale to fold, and inhale all the way up to standing. Roll your shoulders down and back. Step your toes to touch, heels apart, and inhale, arms up and overhead, and exhale, sit back into a chair, bringing your hands to heart center for Utkatasana. Lengthen your tailbone down, and make sure that you can still see your toes over your knees, and exhale, forward fold. Maybe bouncing it out a little bit. And inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And inhale brings you all the way up to standing. Roll your shoulders down and back. Inhale your arms up and overhead and sit back into a chair again, this time keeping your arms up and overhead. And on your next inhale, lengthen through the fingertips and exhale, right arm back, left arm forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, switch sides. Continue this movement with your own breath, focusing the twist in the upper body and making sure that your hips stay pointed forward and that one knee doesn't go out farther than the other knee. Make sure they both stay in a line. On your next inhale, bring your arms up and overhead and exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to cross your left elbow over your right knee, coming into a twist. Again, twisting through the upper body. Inhale to come back to center and exhale, switch sides, right elbow, left knee. Pressing into the palms, opening your chest. And exhale to release, hands to the mat, forward fold. Again, maybe swaying from side to side, nodding your head yes and no. And inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Inhale brings you all the way up to standing. Roll your shoulders down and back. And inhale, pull your right knee into your chest. Stay here. Or reach your right arm on the inside of your right knee, grabbing onto your big toe with your two peace fingers and extending your foot out in front of you. Bring your right knee back in and inhale both arms up and overhead, extending forward and kicking your right leg back into Warrior 3. Bring your hands down to your hips and gently set your right toes down on the mat back behind you, coming into a high lunge. Inhaling your arms up and overhead And exhale to twist to the left, extending the left fingertips forward, right fingertips back. And when you feel steady, bring your hands into prayer and rest the right elbow on the left knee. Looking down at your left toes, step your right toes up to meet it, coming back into this twisted chair. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And inhale all the way back up to standing. Hug your left knee into your chest. And again, stay here or reach your left hand on the inside of your knee, grabbing onto the big toe with your two peace fingers and extending your leg out in front of you. Maybe losing your balance, that's okay. Hug your left knee back in, inhale your arms up and overhead, and extend into Warrior 3. Bring your hands to your hips and gently set your left toes back behind you, coming into a high lunge. Inhale, arms up and overhead, and exhale to twist the left fingers forward, right fingers back. And once you find a stable twist, bring your hands to prayer and rest your left elbow on your right knee. Twisting through the upper body. Look down at your right toes and step your left foot up to meet it, coming into a twisted chair. And forward fold. Maybe grabbing onto opposite elbows and swaying from side to side. Just noticing what movements feel good here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And inhale brings you all the way up to standing. Hug your right knee into your chest. And again, stay here or reach down, grabbing your big toe and extending your leg. This time, bring your sole of foot into the inner thigh or on the calf. For tree pose, inhaling your arms up and overhead. Slowly begin to twist towards the bent knee, extending your right arm back behind you, left arm forward. Once you find your balance, step your right foot back behind you, coming into Warrior 2, making sure your front heel aligns with your back arch. And we're going to do what's called Dancing Warrior. So inhale, reverse your warrior, and inhale, come into a side angle variation. And keep alternating between these two, syncing your movement to your breath, and just flowing through this posture, noticing what it brings up for you. On your next exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame the foot, and step your right foot back to meet the left, forward fold. Again, maybe swaying from side to side. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up to standing for the second side. Pull your left knee into your chest. Stay here or grab onto your big toe and extend. And bring your left sole of foot into your inner thigh or your calf for tree pose. Inhaling your arms up and overhead, finding your balance. And slowly exhale to twist your left arm back behind you, right arm forward. And once you found your balance here, step your left foot back behind you, coming into Warrior 2. And beginning to dance. So reverse your warrior and side angle. Inhale to reverse and exhale for side angle. Continue with your own breath. And on your next exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame the foot and step your left foot forward to meet the right, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to standing and turn to face the long edge of your mat, angling your toes in about 45 degrees, bringing your hands to your hips, inhaling to lengthen through the crown of your head, and exhale to fold forward, releasing your hands to the mat. On your next inhale, walk your hands over to the right foot. Take a deep inhale and exhale completely. Walk your hands over to the left foot and take one complete breath before switching sides and continuing this motion with your own breath, noticing how this movement feels within your body. Release back to center and angle your toes out at 45 degrees and begin to bend into your right knee, straightening the left and pulling your left toes up off of the mat. Inhale and exhale over to the other side, bending into the left knee. Continue to switch between legs in Skandasana, either having your hands at heart center or extending them out in front of you for additional balance. Good. Last one on each side. Then straighten into the legs, bring your hands to your hips, maybe walk your feet in a little bit. And then with your feet still angled out at 45 degrees, bend into your knees and sit your hips down into a goddess squat. And begin to do dancer arms with your arms in goddess squat like we did in Warrior 2. Really engage through your glutes and your thighs to maintain balance here. As you switch between crunching your left oblique and your right oblique. Cartwheel your arms down to frame the foot and step your foot back into downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet, grounding down through your knuckles and all four corners of the palm, pulling your chest towards your thighs, and just noticing how this first down dog of class feels in your body. Take one cleansing breath, inhale through the nose and exhale to sigh it out the mouth. Inhale to look forward and bring your right knee behind your right wrist, extending your left leg out behind you, coming into pigeon pose. However, instead of just holding pigeon, we're going to do kind of a wave-like motion with our upper body, keeping our hips in place. So on the inhale, lift your chest forward, and exhale to round forehead to mat, kind of like a cat-cow, but in pigeon. Be sure to sync your movement with your breath here, really just tuning in to the sensations of the body, and noticing how this subtle movement can change this one pose. On your next inhale, tuck your toes, and exhale, send your right leg back into downward facing dog, pedaling out the feet, and noticing how one side might feel different than the other. Inhale through your nose, and exhale, sigh it out the mouth. Inhale, look forward, and bring your left knee behind your left wrist, extending your right leg out behind you, coming into pigeon on the other side. Doing the same cat-cow motion that we did on the other side, inhaling to lift the chest forward, and exhale, forehead to mat. Inhale to roll back up, and exhale to release, syncing the waves of movement to the waves of breath. Inhale to tuck your right toes, and exhale, step your left foot back into downward facing dog. The last one of class. Notice how it might feel different than the first downward dog. Release your knees down to the mat and come into a seat, bringing the soles of feet to touch, spreading your knees wide, coming into butterfly, placing your hands on your ankles, drawing your shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall before rounding forward, allowing any tension that might be left in your body to just flow off of your neck here, and just release it, reconnecting to your breath in stillness this time. Inhale to slowly rise and close your legs like a book and shift down onto your backs. Extending your feet out long, hands at your sides, preparing for our last little sequence. Bend into both knees and reach your right hand on the inside of your right knee, grabbing onto the outside edge of your right foot, keeping the left knee bent, but it can splay out to the side a little bit, coming into half happy baby, before crossing the right ankle over the left knee and dropping the right sole of foot off to the left side of your mat, pushing the knee away from you, keeping both shoulders flat on the mat for a spinal twist. Inhale to slowly unwind, releasing both soles of feet back to the mat. Bending into the left knee, reach down with your right hand on the inside and grab onto the outer edge of the left foot, bending into the knee, pulling it down towards the armpit, keeping the right knee bent, splaying out to the side, before crossing the left ankle over the right knee and dropping the left sole of foot off to the right side of your mat, pushing the left knee away from you and keeping both shoulders grounded for the last pose before Savasana. Inhale to slowly unwind, uncrossing the legs and extending them out long. Resting your hands at your sides and getting any last wiggles out before Shavasana. However, instead of having a silent Shavasana this time, I would like to do a little bit of a visualization meditation and just kind of take your senses to where I am in this video. So slowly begin to deepen your breath, inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Try to continue this pattern of breathing while closing down your eyes. Begin to draw your senses inward and begin to visualize what you could see lying down on the soil, looking up at the trees above you, watching the leaves ripple in the wind, noticing how most of the leaves are green, but some of them are starting to turn yellow with the change of the seasons. See the sunlight peeking through between the leaves and making the yellow leaves glow. Visualize yourself here. Begin to tune in to what you can hear, noticing the flow of the creek behind you, the chirping of the birds in the trees, the noise of the wind in the leaves, the occasional insect buzzing by, not thinking about it or analyzing it, just simply observing what you hear. Begin to tune in to what you can smell. The wet dirt along the creek bed, the smell of fresh air blowing past you, sinking into this sensory scenery that you have created in your mind for a few last deep inhales and exhales in silence. Bringing movement back into your fingertips and toe tips, reach your arms up and overhead, bend into the knees, and shift over onto one side, keeping your eyes closed, pressing yourself up into a seat, rolling your shoulders down and back, and maybe bringing hands to heart center if that feels right for you. Taking 3 final grounding breaths, inhaling through the nose, and exhale, sigh it out the mouth. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this little field trip to Sedona, Arizona. And if you did like it, please like this video. And if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel. That would really help me out. And if you would like to see more of these outdoor yoga videos in the future, be sure to let me know down in the comments so that I can make those for you. Stay tuned to see me almost faceplant into the creek. Oops. I hope that this practice has left you feeling relaxed and grounded, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.